think when you have a best of 3, you can experiment a little bit.
Well, now the draft has started. It looks like Falcon will be having the first pick, and FNATIC ONIC will be the second pick. Louis banned out almost immediately. The only thing that I feel like will get delayed when it comes to the draft is honestly the EXP lane, because you're the one responsible for being able to get a turtle. So you always want to have a winning lane when you go to the EXP.
Absolutely. I think on red side, you are generally more comfortable having the XP laner be in the second phase. There are only, I think, 3 XP laners that deserve a first phase ban. Yuzhong, X-Borg, and Arlet, right? And Arlet is a stretch because it is a flex pick.
Yeah, right now Harif has been banned as well, so both teams, again, even though the nerfs have been going on, you don't want to lose your lane early on as a gold laner. Speaking of gold lanes, quite a lot of huge pickups. The Natan, the Claude, the Moskov has been the priority when it comes to a lot of his professional teams.
I would even say Roger kind of fell off the tier list a little bit, right? Nowadays, you see Roger, there's a huge chance he gets put into the jungle. Arlet gets banned out, so that's one of the biggest flex removed.
One of the interesting things here is that for Falcon, is that they're banning 2 heroes that have a high power spike when it comes to their own crowd control, right? Louis has a lot of crowd control, same as Arlet. So it kind of looks like Falcon, they want to be grouped up together, and they don't want to be punished when they do.
Yeah. This could lead to picks like the Faramis. I think you could still lean into Valentina if you want to play it safe, but it might open up avenues for you to go for Fredrin Barrage, right? You don't want them, well, not really Fredrin Barrage, but the Roger, for example.
Honestly, even the Moskov here, because I kind of feel like Louis and Arlet can make the Moskov's life a little bit difficult.
With the Natan ban out, we will lean into that even more, actually. Chip also removed. If I remember correctly, Loi actually has the highest win rate out of all mid laners. Last we checked, it was 70+%.
Exactly. Yeah.
Out of this world. Fredrin banned out.
By multiple different players. Not by the same exact player, saying like, oh, it's a Louis one trick. No, it's like any mid laner that gets their hands on the Louis will have a high percentage chance to win. So now the Fredrin has been banned out. It does mean that I feel like FNATIC, they're okay. It's like, okay, if you want to take the Moskov, go ahead. But it looks like they're prioritizing the Angela. It's a very strong pick, don't get me wrong, but we haven't seen Angela prioritized for quite a while.
Okay, I was about to say Ling is going to get picked out right now because that has been the response from FNATIC ONIC Philippines, even when they went up against Vanguard Esports. Vanguard goes blue side, takes Angela, they instantly snatch the Ling away. And I think the only thing that would stop FNOP from taking Ling first phase, regardless of which side they're on, is to beat their Ling, because they're feeling really good about it.
Yeah, and right now, Falcon picked up the Moskov, the one that we have been speculating, and they pick up the Chi-Chi as well. The Chi-Chi is very good to go up against pair up with the Angela, and because the CC has Vengeance, you know, can use the spell Vengeance, it's really good against multiple targets that want to hit you at once. So I kind of feel like this pickup is going to be very, very good. But the thing is, Chi-Chi is counterable. Now that you see the hero, you can pick something up like an X-Borg, where it kind of denies Falcon for picking up a very tanky jungler. But the thing is, Fredrin has been banned. They have picked up the Barats. So just by the first 2 picks, FNATIC ONIC has already significantly cut down the jungler picks.
It's at the same time, it's a very honest draft, right? You don't even attempt to hide where this Barrage is going to go. That's why the CC pick can come out so early. They will pick up the Brody again. So far, these first three picks are the exact same heroes that they picked when they went up against Vanguard last week.
I kind of feel like at this point, will Akai be a good ban?
I feel like it could be the case. But but I was about to say, I think Baxia Angela is always thing. Akai though, I don't think FNATIC ONIC Philippines care about Akai too much. They probably would start looking at the either mid or the XP lane. If you want Dirt to get a good matchup, I think you use that last ban for XP.
And the last ban for
Yuzhong could be a good example, right? Like controllers export.
Yeah, when I was talking about Akai, meaning in FNATIC ONIC banning against Falcon.
So they ban Akai.
Exactly. Like basically just like make sure no good jungler picks it. Probably forcing them to pick up something like Roger or because I don't know if Baxia gets banned out and if Akai gets banned out, what other choices does Falcon have? Do they go for the Martis? Oh, but they ban out the Faramis.
I think you called it right? With the Loi and Arlet ban, it seems like Falcons want to kind of play together. It can enable a Faramis pick, but no longer an option. So think FNOP still has a feeling that this Angela might not fully go mid, but by eliminating farmers, it could force Falcon to pivot the Angela.
And again, looking at Falcon, they're still banning out like a lot of AoE here, even banning out the Vexana. So it does look like they want to group up, and even though they need a mid lane as well, they ban out the Valentina.
What?
So now, I'm really looking at FNATIC ONIC PH, and if they just want to go for the early game, they can pick up something like the Lilia, but it looks like they're opting for the Nana here.
I'm a bit confused that the Valentina gets banned out. Like, what are you trying to protect yourself from? It would make a lot more sense if, let's say, Vexana gets let through, right? At least there's a trade.
What if Falcon, they want to pick up something like a Minotaur and just put Angela mid? Like, we've seen this before, it didn't work out, but it looks like no, they're going for an Edith. Probably an Edith roam.
The jungler has to be able to do some serious damage. It's either that or they're leaning everything onto the Moskov at this point. I wouldn't mind a Roger, but it's very technical for Falcons. Alpha could work.
Right, Alpha Angela, but no, it looks like an
so.
Akai.
The remaining tank, right?
Exactly. That's why I was thinking maybe ban out the Akai, so really put them in a very bad spot, but the Akai was open up, but this also kind of shows that FNATIC wants them to pick up the Akai.
Yeah, I think it's just great conditioning. Even with the Akai, it doesn't really guarantee Falcons much.
Because the export is pretty good. Go ahead.
But then Barat, so yeah.
I am the power of light.
Kaja is good. Kaja is nice. You directly
Yesterday was a long day.
It was a long day. Don't get me wrong.
It was a good day, but a long day. But the Kaja Brody, that's gonna be very oppressive.
Yeah, very oppressive and very deadly, right? It also makes the life of Akai and CC very hard. Normally Akai, when you press heavy spin, you purify every crowd control, but not against a Kaja. He can just drag you away.
But that does show a little bit of the macro here, where the Akai has to wait for the Kaja to make the first move, because once the Akai already uses the heavy spin, it's going to be very free for the Kaja to just pick up anyone, even the tankier heroes.
Yeah, I feel like he's the only one that can reliably kind of go for these massive setup. Though I would say what Falcons have for game 1 is the abundance of crowd control, right? Chain CC, that's what the Edith brings to the table. Every time I see an Edith roam, I expect the Edith to get active early on to get the lead.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially because you clear the lane so fast, even though you're an Edith roam. It makes any slow clearing mid laners feel very, very fast. So I kind of feel like it pairs well with the Angela.
Yeah, I think so too. Even when you see the opening, I feel like this Kaja probably would just go for the invade just to check where where Dax can start. We'll see that both junglers are starting on the complete opposite buff.
Yeah. So it looks like they're starting on the same side of the map. And I do like that the Kaja just shows up, have a good understanding of where this Akai is, because I do feel like the Link wants to counter jungle as much as he can, because he wants to rush that first 2 items. After the first 2 items, then this Link can be very, very aggressive, especially towards the side lanes.
At the same time, I'm expecting both teams to pay a lot of attention to the gold lane. And indeed, they are. Benny down to less than half health already. CC against the Baraz is just a dead lane, right?
Oh,
so
yeah,
you might as well get this Brody ahead if you are FNOP.
Definitely a dead lane, and it looks like lethal ignition on this Link. So it looks like you want him to stay in a fight for a very, very long time and try to dish out as much damage. And now they're actually invading, and Dax looks like he's pretty okay with it.
Wow, straight up Flicker Earth Shatter. This could be a first blood angle. James Punk needs to run the auto attack just enough from Kid X. Hard on the string to Flicker follow up, get the immobilization effect, and that's Chain CC. We are looking for Falcons off with 2 kills.
Looks like FNATIC ONIC PH disrespected a bit FALCON eSports there, because I'm pretty sure they know additional 20% damage there, and 3 members. Again, it hurts a lot, and Link isn't the tankiest jungler.
Yeah. If you're James Punks, you know for a fact you do not need to do that. But you know, it was a gamble, and Dax, he does has the ult, forces the flicker so early on. I don't think he's gonna do anything though. Corrosion strike actually sufficient.
I like that he just stood there menacingly, forcing the flicker out. But the thing is, I kind of feel like if Benny kind of just like has that feeling like, oh, maybe something could happen, I feel like they could have gotten killed.
Dex dies here, it is going to be bad. But he used a heavy spin, so that itself is still something out of the Akai. Means that Link is going to get his purple and contest the turtle.
Oh yeah, definitely. But now we got to look at PX7, because I really feel like this this turtle take is going to be very difficult for FNATIC ONIC PH because of PX7, because he can stop multiple targets here.
And CC gets the ult again. PH7, he finds those two who are strung together. Dirk not going to have a chance. James Punks, I don't think he wants to stay in this fight. Uses the Tempest of Blaze. PX7 gets that mecha back. And unfortunately, the last blade doesn't connect. The Earth Shadow will miss. James Punks somehow still able to collect this Edith with the help of KK. But Turtle will go over to Falcon.
This is honestly very good for Falcon here because they are not stopping the aggression here. Even though the Royal Milk gets pulled in, it looks like James Pongs really wants this kill. It looks like Kid X is going to make sure that he's going to survive, and Dur can't really do anything about it. So they're going to go for the focus on Kid X and giving a kill over to Chovy.
Very nicely done. At least you get something in return. I think Kid X sacrificed himself, realizing that, man, Royal Milk has mobility, but I don't. Speaking of Royal Milk, he is at the top of the chart. 10,000 damage at 3 minutes in. Oh, he's willing to stay in the lane for even for a while more just to get the shove in.
It looks like because the lane is such a dead lane, it does give an opportunity for him to move around the map.
KK Dodge dashing away. There's no follow-up. The Spear of Destruction connects, but no good angle.
Yeah, especially because you have to wonder if KK has the Divine Judgment, because I don't know if within Vision, if they saw KK already used it or not. But I guess in the early game, the cooldown is so long, you would assume that he doesn't have it. But as a Moscow player, you generally don't want to go too aggressive before your third item.
I mean, Dax is doing a pretty good job keeping up with James Punk in terms of experience. This time, Divine Judgment will be used. All the combos, including Molina's Blitz. They force out the heavy spin. Royal Milk now joins in. The Angela Harga hovering on top of Dax. He takes the purple buff away, so James Punk gets nothing.
And right now, FNATIC ONIC PH, I feel like even though they're losing by 2,000 gold, but when you have a composition that scales pretty well, but before that, Benny finds the good kid.
The good kid, he needs someone in range to use a Corrosion Strike. He has the flicker, but ends up going down regardless.
This feels bad because you have a Brody and a Kaja, but not a lot of aggression on the goal lane. Now the Kaja gets stuck to the wall too.
Round number 2 is going to be locked in. He will flicker on the turret. James Punk has arrived. Melina Bliss shows up. Chovy gets pinned to the wall. They get the portable valve, but Benny is the main target. They cannot get him. He sidesteps away with the second skill and even comes back in with the out. Benny with the outplay.
How did he hit the Spear of Destruction and then go back in? FALCON Esports is winning big now.
Yeah, we've seen crazier things, but still, what a way to start off game 1. I think one thing that Falcons did good was realizing that that goal lane would be a lot of focus, so we try to pull KK away from the Brody. We make sure we pressure James Pangs. Now FNATIC ONIC Philippines have lost that top tier 1.
So, Husky, this is what I was saying when you look at the micro quiz, then the macro, then the draft. Looking at the draft coming in from FNATIC ONIC PH is quite balanced, where you have early game with the Brody and you have mid game with the Nana as well as the Kaja, and then late game with the Ling, but they botched the early game, and now it's all FALCON Esports with a 5,400 gold lead, where they really shouldn't have this lead in the first place.
Considering that this draft is also kind of like it's the same draft from last week, so I think Falcons definitely studied it a bit, but also a very honest draft, right? We reviewed your Barrasso early on. Let's look at the replay from just now.
Yeah, look at how they want to focus on this Moscow. They put everything onto him, trying to get him down, but you ignored the damage coming in from the Edith, and because of the changes where the armor and magic resist of everyone, the initial armor and magic resist has been increased, the damage of the Edith is actually much higher now than previous patches.
Yeah, especially in the early games. When you don't have resistance and Edith has full passive charge, oh, she hurts. Berserker's Fury does get purchased by James Punk. He's still hitting some good timing. Royal Milk is the target, has to purify on hard guard. They will lay on everything onto him, but Benny lands a Spear of Destruction, comes in, finds a decent angle. KK is straight up dead. The good kid wants to run away, but everyone from Falcons going after him. 2 kills for Falcons.
This is a big snowball effect, man, and it's all because of that botch invade for the game from FNATIC ONIC PH. And now Dur is all alone trying to survive, flickers out, trying to make sure that he can get to safety, but Kid X secures the kill for FALCON Esports now with a 7,000 gold lead.
Man, this is snowballing out of control. 7 minutes in, 7,000 gold advantage for Falcons. James Punks, he just wants to clear the wave. That's the least he can do, and even then, it really feels like he's not doing enough, right? The purple buff is respawning, but I don't think this Link can even contest it.
Very, very soon, Benny will have his 3 items. Because right now, looking at the item list here, he already has the Corrosion Scythe, having the Golden Staff. All he needs is the Demon Hunter Sword, and by that time, he's going to be able to heal a lot. So James Pong is not having a good time, only having 1 item when the Moskov is on the verge of his 3rd.
And try and not let James Pong's recall. This is such a painful experience for him. He didn't even use a primal from James Pong. He's just going to straight up die under his own tier 1.
That was good juggling, making sure like, okay, I take the turret and you take the turret. Let's reset this whole thing. There's nothing that this Link can do. What a disastrous start coming in from FNATIC ONIC PH that now we're going into the mid game, and FALCON Esports, they basically have their win condition when it comes to their items. Now Kid X having the Flash of the Oasis as well as the Fleeting Time. Now they can fight, like basically they can do this all day.
I also just noticed that KK Dot bought his Fleeting Time as his very first item. They get the Divine Judgment, pull onto the Edith, Hard Guard, Daytona's Welcome just to send him as far back as possible, and still they could not kill him. This Edith is built different.
This is what it will look like when you're down when it comes to the goal, because you don't have your damage items. And when you don't have your damage items, 5 people and a turret, and you still can't take one guy out.
Yeah, that would have made so much difference if, let's say, Chovy has a lightning truncheon, or the good kid got his second item. So top tier 2 goes down. This is suffocating. Where do you go as a Link? I feel like this game is pretty much in the checkmate position for Falcons.
At this point, you want KK Dot to get someone and you have enough damage to kill. So that's where the big oof is, because they tried that and then that did not happen. So you want to scale, but there's one glaring flaw with trying to stall. One glaring flaw of you trying to stall this game. You don't have good wave clear.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem.
And Falcons are just going to keep putting on the pressure. KK Dot has the ult, but does not have the angle to pull the target he wants. Flicker is still down for another 45 seconds. First Lord coming up. I think Falcons, they can just easily take this objective.
Yeah, Royal Milk as well. Something we haven't talked about, which is the curtain call will basically lock people together, even if you're a Link. Because just now, he was able to lock in James Punks with Dur. Later on, when they're trying to end the game, he could do that to James Punks, and just by how fast the Ling is and by how slow the Barats is, it's like you're immobilizing 2 different targets. And by that time, then you can free hit, Royal Milk can free hit. This is a very dangerous angle. FNATIC ONIC PH, this is going to be very difficult for them to defend their base, not just because of the overwhelming damage that FALCON Esports have, which, by the way, instead of going for a Wind of Nature, Benny just went for the Malefic Roar. He's like, you know what, I just need more damage.
Yeah, when you're hit, right? He just got the magic. He's gonna buy the. I assume he's gonna buy Magic Blade and Rose Gold Media soon. If you want more damage, that's probably the route. He's not even worried that Leguke is a threat at this point of time. He's just way too strong.
I would say Leguke is not a threat at this point, because if I believe correctly, he only has 2 items: the Blade of Heptases as well as the Malefic Roar. That's nowhere near enough to try to get a wipeout.
First Lord is already more than enough to take that first inhibitor. I think Falcons have not done just yet, looking for the top one. And with this Moskov, they're going to take everything down. PX7, Flicker, Earth Shatter, and just a full-on powder on the FNATIC ONIC PH. That's your Barrage dead already. KK Dot forced to retreat, and it's a Kaja that could not get much done. This could be the final push for Falcons. Royal Milk, he's going to be going on to Crystal. James Punch drops Tempest of Blade, but KK Dot, he finds the pull, but the Hard Guard kills whoever is being pulled alive, and KK Dot will not stand as well. Benny just hammering away with his spear. James Punk, James dead. Chovy to follow. Falcons with the wipeout, and game 1 for them.
Oh yeah, 11 and 27.